Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Collection Mania Monday and we are going to take a look at the CretaColor Mega color pencils. These are a big pencil. Typically I can fit 3 pencils in these slots and I can only fit 2. So these are beautiful pencils. They are a 6.6 millimeter core, and it's a 36 set of colored pencils. They do have some wonderful ranges of colors. Of course, they do have a light, medium, and dark. I'm going to close this up and we'll take a look at the color swatch. Now, excuse me, they are named and numbered. I'll show you that in great big huge old bold letters. And with this barcode, I think that they're available as single sale. So you can buy individual pencils, but I'm not absolutely positive on that. I will have to look that up and see, because the set was not horribly inexpensive. My husband bought them for me for Christmas. So, of course, they have the permanent white, Naples yellow, cadmium citron, cadmium yellow, which is a very light orange, orange, permanent red, permanent dark, permanent red light, and permanent red dark. And they're not all that close. This is a lot darker than this one. This one has a little bit of an orange tint to it. And then we've got the Carmine Extra Fine, Matter Carmine, Tan Light, Cyclamen. It's a type of plant and beautiful flowers on it. Old Rose, Magenta, Violet, Blue Violet, Indigo. So it's got a lot of really good blues. So it goes from indigo to ultramarine, Prussian blue, Delft blue, and light blue. So it's got, good 5 levels of blue. And then we go into our greens. We've got moss green, moss green light, moss green dark, grass green, olive green dark, leaf green, emerald green, and turquoise. So it has a great selection of greens, as well as into the aquatic colors as well. And then we have ivory, ochre light, ochre dark, English red, chestnut brown, umber, ivory black, dark gray, and light gray. So it doesn't have a huge selection in your grays, but it does give you a light and a dark. So those are the colors that are with this set. The one thing that I will tell you about this set is they are really chunky. So getting them into a normal sharpening situation might be a little difficult. Oh, my page is all vented. But you can definitely sharpen them. We're going to be coloring this very small picture with these, and hopefully we will be able to. Like I said, with them being a chunky pencil, it is difficult to get them into a fine point. The finest I could get them is like this, which is pretty fine, but it's still got a bit of a chunk to it. But we will give it a try. Of course, the Dal 133 pencil sharpener will sharpen these pencils which is wonderful because I was wondering how I was going to sharpen them. I was a little bit concerned, but the Dial 133 will sharpen them. So that's fantastic. All right, so I'm going to switch you over to the other camera here. Let's turn the light on. And we'll take a look at the picture that we're going to be coloring. So we're going to be coloring this picture here. And I'm going to actually bring you a little bit closer so that you can see a little bit better. Sorry about that, guys. I know it's probably, there we go. Probably irritating having it move like that. So, all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to use, of course, our Naples yellow. And as you can see, it doesn't have a very good point. So we're going to try to give it a little bit better of a point. With our handy dandy sharpener. So I was able to get it to a pretty good point. Of course, my sharpener is dirty, so I've got to actually run through and clean that out today. And we're just going to color in this wonderful little bumblebee. And we've done the lighter color, and we're going to actually add to that a bit of a darker color. So let's add the chromium yellow, which has a little touch of orange in it. But I want to get it to a really good point because it's a very small area. And I'm trying not to completely sharpen away the entire pencil. So we're just going to add a little bit of this orangey yellow in there just to give the shadows. Okay. Oop. I pressed a little too hard and broke it. These are a very soft pencil, so make sure that you don't put too much pressure on it. I need my brush because I was being a little bit rough. And that's what will happen if you're too strong-armed about it. You're going to get some breakage going on, and that's never any fun. You won't break all the way through the core unless you're being really, really rough because they are a thick core. All right, so we've got the yellow done. Now we're going to do some black because it's a bee and we need black on a bee. And I'm sharpening this on the wrong table, so you guys are probably shaking like a leaf there. Now, of course, because this is black, the only way to really show the light source is to do the black on the outside and then add that gray in to the areas that we want the light to be. Of course, you can add a white source as well with some gel pen or something, but I want to show you how to do it without adding that white gel pen, which you can definitely do. I do it all the time. I use my white gel pen all the time for light source, so it's definitely something that is easier to do, and that you can definitely do instead of adding the gray in. All right. And then, of course, we've got his head. Sorry about that. Okay. So I'm just trying to make this area here as dark as possible on the edges, and then just barely going into that light area there with a light touch, so that when I put the gray in there, it's going to blend together properly. Okay, we're going to leave that out because we're going to use it again after we use the gray. I'm not even going to sharpen the gray. And once I go over it, if I find that it's too dark, of course, I'll take a eraser and just put that light source in with the darker gray around it. So as you can see, they do blend together quite nicely. And the one problem that I have found with this chunky pencil, especially if you don't sharpen them, is they are harder to get coverage with that. Sorry, I'm going to turn you here for a sec. It's harder to cover up all that white spot without a blender pencil if you're using the duller pencil. Because the white spot is little tiny pits in the paper, and with these big pencils, you can't really get into them as well. But I just love these pencils. They are so smooth. And they do blend together really nicely, which is fantastic. Okay, so let's dust that off and see how we feel about that light source. I think it's okay. I think it looks good. All right, so now we're going to do his eyes, and we're actually going to take the lighter gray and we're going to fill those eyes in, and then we'll go around it with the black, because you know how bugs' eyes are. but I don't want to just have it look like black. And of course, we're going to have to go through and blend all of this together with a blending pencil just to get rid of that white spot. Like I said, the pigment is there. It's just because of the fact that it's such a chunky pencil, it does have difficulties blending together. Just put these back in here. Of course, you're not going to lose them. They are so big that you can definitely not lose them. Then we're going to take our aquatic color here. So we're going to take emerald, I do believe. Yeah, emerald would be the best one, I think. Maybe turquoise. Yeah, we'll do turquoise. And as you can see, the turquoise does have a bit of a point, so we'll try to use it with just that little bit of a point. But if it is too chunky, then we'll definitely sharpen it down to a finer point. I'm just going to do up his wings here. And I'm just going over the lines. I'm just trying to stick really close to that line. So that when I go over it with that light blue color, it will blend in okay. I'm just going up under where all the shadows are going to be. Then we'll do the same thing over here. And of course, remember to turn your pencil. It does help you maintain that point a little bit longer. So that you're not having to sharpen it as often. I want to thank you all very much for joining in on the Collection Mania Monday last week's giveaway. We did have a winner, and I will be sending her her wonderful coloring book this week, and hopefully she'll have it before the weekend. Leave me a comment in the comment section. I had an idea, and I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but I had an idea while putting together the package of this book, because I have this book and I actually colored in this book for the Saturday Color and Chat. But my thought was, if you win a book that I am coloring in for, say, a color along or a color and chat, would you like to win the bare book, so one that hasn't been touched with a pencil, or would you rather me send you the one with the one completed picture that is done on the day of the drawing or shortly after that's finished. Leave me a comment in the comment section below if you would like me to send, if that's something that you would be willing to win, a piece of art drawn by an artist in their book that is colored by me, or would you rather just win the bare book so that you can color all of the pictures yourself, which is an absolutely reasonable expectation of winning a book. So both are good possible outcomes. I don't think my coloring's horrible. And if I ruin the page, I will, contact you and say, okay, I've ruined this page, so I'm going to send you the bare book. But if it's something that you want to possibly have on the table for winning and have that option, leave me a comment below. Of course, it will always be an option. It's not always going to be, okay, you're going to win this book that I've already colored in. It will always be an option of you can either have it with or without my coloring in it. Okay, so we've added that light blue to his wings now, and we've got him all colored. Now we're going to color these flowers. And this is where it's going to get a little bit trickier because of the fact that the flower petals are very, very small, and these pencils are very, very large. So we're going to try to color one petal at a time. And like I said, I can get these to quite a fine point. I haven't sharpened this one beyond what I've already had it sharpened at, because I wanted to see if I could avoid sharpening it more. I want to preserve them for as long as possible. And I am able to get them into those flower petals there. However, in order to do the dark areas, I may have to sharpen. So let's take a look at that. Let's grab, I think it's this one. We'll just use this one. Sorry if I go quiet. I do when I'm concentrating, and I'm trying to concentrate and just get little tiny bit of color on these petals without making a big old mess. I think the easiest way is just to go around the edge, just to give it that bit of color. All right, now we're going to do the center. And like I said, if you are using these pencils, don't get discouraged with the amount of white spot that's there. Just know that the pigment is on the page. It's just because these pencils are such a larger pencil that you're going to find that it doesn't, even with the sharpest point that you're able to get on it, it's not going to fill all of that white spot with color, because of the fact that the sharp point isn't small enough to get into those cracks and crevices, if that makes sense. Made sense to me. So but I just love how pigmented these pencils are. And I keep on catching myself. One of these days I will either just embrace the fact that I'm calling them pencil crayons, or move on with life, or actually stop calling them pencil crayons. Now where? Oh, okay. That one goes up there. Lost a spot for the pencil. And it's like, I know this one goes in here. All right, now we're going to do the little leaves. So we need this one, and I think this one. So these ones, as you can see, are really dull. So I'm going to have to sharpen them, because those little tiny leaves, if I don't sharpen them, are going to be taken over very quickly. And we're not going to get the coverage that we want on them. We're not going to get the effects that we want on them. So I'm going to just color the entire leaf here. And then I'll come back, because these are so small, I'll come back afterwards and do the darker areas. And then blend them together. Okay. I do apologize if you can hear that. My dog is snoring away on the couch. She doesn't usually snore that loud, but it's really loud to me. And I've got headphones on, so if it's really loud to me, you guys can probably hear it. I'm gonna make sure I get a really good point on this, because it is a very small area that I'm going to be coloring this color in. And I'm just putting just enough in there so that it's the light source is still there. Okay. Now that's done. Okay, so our little bee is done. Now we're going to take our wonderful, wonderful Caran d'Ache blender pencil. And we're just going to blend all of his wonderful colors and get rid of that white spot. Now watch your blender pencil when you're blending dark colors like this. Make sure that you wipe your blender pencil before you go into a lighter color. Like if I was to go into the yellow right now, that black would end up in that yellow. So make sure that you wipe that off. Now with the Caran d'Ache blender pencil, I don't have that problem a whole lot. It doesn't seem to pick up very much color at all, but it does blend beautifully. I love this blender. All right. Now I'm going to keep the thinner areas where there's not a lot of color still showing, because these are wings. They're not supposed to be heavy in color, but you can't really see that too much on the camera, can you? And then once we're all done with his wings here, we'll have to think of a background for him. We'll put in a background, and then we'll put in the little spots. All right, so let's start with, I think it's this one. Is this it's permanent, this one? Yep. So we're going to start with Madder Carmine. This one I'm going to, of course, put a little bit more pressure, because I want to be able to blend it into other colors. And still get that intense color. Okay, so there's the Madder Carmine, and then we're going to take Permanent Red Light, which is more of an orangier color. And I'm just going to go right over top into that color. And bring it all the way up. And then we're going to use the chromium yellow a little bit. And I'm going to go down into it here. Now I'm not going to use a lot of the chromium yellow. I'm just using it as a transition into this orange. For the lighter yellow. And then we're going to take the Naples yellow, and we're going to finish it off. We're going to put this little guy in a sunset. Or sunrise, whichever. Guess if it was a sunrise, the top would be black. All right, and then we're going to take our blender pencil and we're going to start in the lightest area. First of all, make sure that there's no stuff on my pencil. And we're going to blend in all of this area and then we'll blend downwards. But let's get all the light stuff blended first. Okay, then we go down. And of course, we go down here. Now, with this blender pencil, I'm not overly worried about it because it doesn't seem to pick up as much of the color as, say, a Prisma blender or a Derwent blender. It does blend beautifully, but it doesn't pick up that excess color. It does a little bit, I guess, but not as bad as the other blenders that I've used. I'm trying not to blend it into too much into the other areas. I don't want the green to be purple or anything like that. So the bits that you're seeing come off are a little bit of excess color, but also little bits of the blender pencil because I'm pressing really hard because I want it to be completely burnished, not just blended. I want it burnished too. Okay. And I don't know why my colors are showing like that, so let's just fix that. For some reason, my saturation is way too high. Because that there is closer to what that color is. Sorry. There you go. So as you can see, I've got the background pretty much burnished in here. There's a couple of areas that need a little bit more work. Just be careful that you don't get too, oh, see what I mean by make sure that you have a clean tip when you go into the lighter. Otherwise, you're going to end up with that problem. Not a big deal, but all right. So we've got our little bee in his little sunset, and there's little, you can probably see them, little black dots everywhere, and those are bits of pollen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wonderful lemon chiffon liquid pearl, and we're going to just put little, well, maybe, let's see, little dots of pollen flying around him. The only thing that drives me crazy about these liquid pearls is sometimes, no matter what you do, you end up with a piece stuck in the end when you're done using it and you put the cap on it. And you go to take it out and start using it again, and you have to push that little piece out, and then you end up with that liquid pearl everywhere. At least this time it only got on my finger. Last time it got into my computer's keyboard and everything else. I knew it was going to happen though. So now we're done with this picture, and it's cute and it's beautifully colored. The pigments went down fantastic. It blended beautifully with the Caran d'Ache blender pencil. There's a couple areas that I didn't quite blend, but the only difficulty I see with using such a large pencil in tiny areas, like this is a tiny picture, is having to sharpen them to a really, 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 really fine point. And with this thickness of pencil, that's a lot more difficult than it sounds. They are a beautiful pencil with fantastic wood. They're coated, so they're not going to be hard on your hands for coating. They have a wonderful colored tip that tells you what color it is, as well as the name and number printed on the pencil, so you don't have to worry about that. And like I said, they are a fantastic pencil for coloring in coloring books, for just coloring large areas in drawings that you do, or anything like that. They are beautifully pigmented, and they blend just fantastic, even with just themselves. So to me, that is a winner. And that's why they're still in my collection. Okay, so in comparison, let's compare the blacks here. So this is the CretaColor black, and this is the Cool Bank black, and that's the Color. And now the Color, I did not blend, and there's a lot of yellow in here from the background as well as the bottles. So I think if we were to blend this out, let's just blend a small area of it here. So blended out, it's pretty close to the Cool Bank. I think Cool Bank is a little bit darker. Then we have the Saison, the Boot Funer, the Castle Arts, the round boot funer. So these are the square and these are the round. I'm not showing you very well. These are the round, these are the square. And then we have the Bronzio, which are beautiful, beautiful pencil. I love the Bronzios. The Blick Studios, also another fantastic pencil. And then we have the Black Widows. And this is the entire 144 set that I showed during the Black Widow video. And they just blend beautifully together. And they lay down really, really nice. If you can get, one of my biggest pet peeves about the Black Widows is the color names and the fact that you have to take several different sets to get an entire set. So they all look different in the package. So it's really hard to tell, where your colors are unless you do them by package. But if you're trying to put them in color family, you've got everything from everywhere. And these are the Art and Fly, which are another fantastic pencil. They laid down beautifully. They blended fantastic. Their blendability is just top notch. Same with the Arteza. They lay down just absolutely gorgeous, and their blendability is fantastic as well. So we're just going to take this Caran d'Ache here. Oh, and I didn't clean it, so it's got a bit of black in it. And see if we can get this to blend out a little bit better than I was able to with the Prisma blender that I used on it. A little bit better. A little tiny bit better. And then, of course, we have the Amazon Basics, which I think they are a wonderful pencil. They're a fantastic starter pencil. They do color beautifully, and the Caran d'Ache does blend them really nicely. I'm just playing with the blender here. And that, yeah, those are blending really, really nice too. So this Caran d'Ache blender just seems to do everything. Oil, wax, you name it, it does it, which is fantastic. And I only have 2 of them, so I gotta stop blending everything. But that's the ones that we have covered so far. After the CretaColor, we're going to have an oddball because, well, sometimes it's, it says that it's Cray art, but Norberg and Linden says that the centers and their cores are still their own. So I can't guarantee one way or another whether they're Cray art or Norberg and Linden. I really hope they come out with their new set soon, so that that has all the corrections done to it, so that I can compare the two. But until that comes out, I can't really compare the two. But that's what we will be doing here. But we will be doing them listed as Cray art. And then when the new Norberg and Lindens come in, I will do a comparison between the two. But yeah, that's our wonderful, wonderful pencils. I'm going to switch you over to the other side here so you can see the pencils again. Like I said, they are a larger pencil. They do have a really, really, really big core. Like I said, this is a very, very large core. And in order to get it to a sharp point, I had to sharpen it down quite a bit to get it to that sharp point. So if I keep on having to do that, I may end up with a lot shorter pencils than I want. because yeah, there's no way I can put those in a pencil extender. So I'm really, really cautious when I use them. Um, I try to use them. I try to use them all the time. I try to use them often, but very sparingly at the same time. I get to using them and wanting to sharpen them all, and then I think, if I do that, then they're all going to be gone. But as you can see here on the end, the blue, they're butted up right on top of each other at the end. And this blue is only just a smidge shorter than this blue, even though it looks like it's a lot shorter because the lead is extended, which makes me feel a lot better when I sharpen them, to have them be able to be butted up against each other the same way and still have almost the same length in the cores. So that makes me feel a little bit better about using them and sharpening them. Okay, guys. Well, I want to say thank you all very much for joining me, as well as for participating in last week's giveaway. Um, I will be doing the giveaways randomly throughout the days. One week we may have one, and then not have another one for a month. So it is very random, depending upon what I get in and what I get deals on and what I can buy extras of. Which this month isn't a lot because, unfortunately, yeah, um, my fridge went out. So I ended up having to replace my fridge and my microwave all at the same time. And yeah, but we expected it to happen some point because this is a 10-year-old house and my appliances are 10 years old. So of course we were expecting it at some point, just really didn't want it to happen all at once. But anyway, thank you all very much for watching. Of course, if you want to become a part of our Facebook group, please do put in an application on Facebook. The link will be listed below. Make sure that you fill out all of the application questions. There's like 3 of them. The reason why we do these questions is because bots don't answer questions. And in order to maintain the integrity and security of our members and our group, we do ask the questions to make sure that we don't have any bots join our group. Bots are computer-generated accounts that are scammers that sit there and constantly post different advertisements to get you to click on them, and then they either offer you to buy something and they'll refund you, or they just take all your information and you end up with a duplicate account with somebody else running it. So we don't want any of that happening. So that's why we do ask that you fill out the application form. We will not accept anybody that doesn't fill it out. So other than that, of course, remember to relax. Oh, actually, there is one more thing. It's February, and February is an aquatic month. So February is the month of water, where our celestial signs are Aquarius and Pisces. So this month, some of our coloring and some bonus videos will be coming out that have to do with water. So stay tuned for that. Keep a watch out. I will be doing some bonus videos on different watercolor medias, as well as different inks and different things like that, that will hopefully enhance your coloring possibilities as well as enjoyment. So just a little heads up, we will be celebrating the Aquarius and Pisces signs, as well as just the aquatic month, basically dealing with all different things water, whether it be watercolors, whether it be mermaids or coloring water, things like that. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. And of course, have a fantastic day. Always remember to relax, color, and stay safe. Of course, like this video if you enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of the idea of possibly being given the option of receiving the coloring book with a colored picture in it if I do a coloring book giveaway, or if you would just rather have a blank coloring book. Of course, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. It does let me know that you enjoy the content, as well as helps me get closer to the goal of monetization. Of course, ring the bell, because I do put out a new video every day, sometimes 2 or 3 depending upon what's going on. And because it is a special month, well, I won't say a special month, it is a aquatic month, I will be doing not only my normal videos, but for different little things, I'll be adding some extra bonus videos as well. And that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. And I will see you tomorrow for Tips and Tricks Tuesday. All right, guys. Bye-bye for now.